Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Every body has a secret.
Directed by André Øvredal, starring Brian Cox, Emile Hirsch, Ophelia Lovibond, and Olwen Kelly. This movie's about two coroners, a father and son duo, who are investigating a Jane Doe body that they receive late at night. As the night progresses and their investigation continues, weird things start happening around their lab. So what do we like?
I really enjoyed the story in this film. I thought it was unique in a way that they're telling a story through a dead body. Because we've never really seen people go and bring a dead body in here and then examine it, and that's how the story is progressed. It keeps you interested, and it's not just going to flashbacks as to who she is, it's keeping it in real time, and it's progressing the story in such a way that it's creating more tension and more fear and suspense through each discovery on her body.
It's a plot device that I haven't seen before, but it's really cool, especially if you're into like true crime shows or something like that. It's basically just two people or three people in the entire movie, and the coroners are just cutting this woman up and literally peeling back layers to her story and how she might have been killed and why she's on their table. What also helps with the tension is the whole atmosphere is inherently creepy because you have dead bodies in a morgue setting. It's just a really dark environment, maybe something that the coroners are used to, but not something that the audience is used to. So even just having a dead body defocus in the background, the audience is going to be on edge 100% of the time, thinking that that body might just move, or she might blink, or she might breathe, or something weird's gonna happen. And I'm not gonna spoil anything, but weird shit happens, and when it happens, it gets crazy and it's gonna scare the shit out of you.
I absolutely love the fact that majority of the shots are looking directly into the body's eyes. When you're cutting from conversation to conversation, it's usually just like a medium shot or a close-up shot of the people talking. And it's like they're including her in the conversation by showing these shots of her face. Like Jay said, you're either waiting for them to blink or you're just really uncomfortable because you're looking at a dead body.
And using this technique actually makes the audience feel sympathetic at times because you're like, wow, what has this woman been going through? And just looking into her eyes as you can hear them unveiling what's happened, and you're just like, holy shit, this is a terrible situation. Touching on the cinematography a bit more, this is a beautifully shot film from start to finish. Because this building has really long hallways, there are a lot of long takes and a lot of tracking shots as people are walking around, and even at the beginning, just to introduce the audience to where these coroners are working, you understand the floor plan and you know exactly what's in this morgue or whatever it may be. So the camera moves are really, really well done, and it definitely has some of the better shot choices that we've seen all year.
This film also had stellar acting. We had literally just two characters for majority of this film doing all the talking, and you really got to know them and feel for them. I especially liked Brian Cox's character. I thought him being the father figure and not willing to believe a lot of the things that his son was telling him, it made you feel for the characters differently.
Another aspect that really, really helps the tension and the atmosphere of this film is the sound design and the music. The music is pretty much like dark, ominous tones throughout it.
Yeah, she has a molar missing on the lower left side.
Take some impressions.
But it really fit the mood and it added to the creepiness of everything that's happening. But also they use very distinct, sharp Foley effects and sound design to really intensify every action that happens in this movie. One thing of note that is definitely going to scare the bejesus out of you is a bell.
There used to be a time it was hard to tell a comatose person from a dead one. So coroners tied bells to every body in the morgue. So if they heard it ting, they knew somebody down there wasn't quite ready to go.
And while I'm not gonna spoil anything, there is a really big twist that is the reason why this is all happening, and it's great. Now, what didn't we like?
No, I'm not saying the pacing in this film was bad. It was really well done. It's just the intense moments and the suspenseful situations. I felt the interaction with what was happening wasn't on long enough. And I felt like they could have delivered more for a stronger impactful result.
Well, this movie is fairly unique in its delivery of the story. However, there are moments that are almost tropes to the horror genre that they play with, and I really disliked them. One is a big surprise, but you'll see it coming. And one is basically a jump scare that may as well have been a cat jumping out of a cupboard. These are pretty nitpicky, but both of these instances I was just kind of like, oh man, like, you didn't need to do that. You had great tension already. These little moments didn't need to exist. Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. This was a great movie. The tension built through the cinematography, the sound, and even just the whole atmosphere of this morgue is going to scare you. It's really all about the waiting game. It's waiting for something to happen, waiting for something to move. That's really gonna keep you on edge. The cinematography is excellent, and the acting is fantastic. I highly recommend this movie, so I'm gonna give this 5 brains out of 5.
I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was fantastic because it had me on the edge of my seat from start to finish. I loved this story. It was refreshing, it was different, and it was suspenseful. Plus, we get great closure and an interesting twist. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this 5 old-time radios out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the Autopsy of Jane Doe in the comments section. If you haven't seen it and you do want to check it out, there are links in the description where you can find it. And this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything Bloodbath and beyond.